Willie's dad. Willie could not concentrate in school today. He was too busy thinking about tomorrow. Tomorrow, he and his mom were going to see his father at the place. His teacher said, "Willie, what are you daydreaming about? You have been like this all day." "Nothing, ma'am," he replied. Mom had told him, "Don't talk with anyone at school about your father, because they won't understand. If you do talk about your father, just tell them he lives in another town. You don't see him much. That way you don't have to lie." Willie did not really know his father, because his dad had been at the place all of Willie's life. Willie was in kindergarten now and only remembered going to the place to see his father 2 or 3 times. Mom did not have a car, but her friend had promised to take them tomorrow. Willie really liked her friend, Dwayne, because he was nice to them and took them to the movies sometimes. Sometimes he would take them out to eat, and he would give them lots of rides. When the day came, Dwayne took Willie and his mom to the place. It was a long drive, and Willie went to sleep in the car. "Wake up, Willie. We're almost here," Tina said. When they got to the place, Willie thought it was the biggest place he had ever seen. It was much bigger than his school. Willie noticed it did not have many windows. He thought, they don't get much sun where they live. There were mostly men there, and everyone was wearing only 2 kinds of clothes, except for the visitors. They had all different kinds of clothes. Mom, Willie, and Dwayne had to stand in line to go through a door that all the visitors had to go through. When the people got through the door, they got shut inside a little room. Men inside the room made Willie and Dwayne empty their pockets, and they touched them all over their bodies. "Put your hands over your head, please," they said. Across the room, they could see a woman doing the same thing to Mom. "Put your hand over your head, please," she would say as she put her hands all over Mom. Willie started to cry. "Leave her alone." Dwayne stooped down and whispered softly to him in his ear, "Willie, trust me, son. I won't let anybody hurt you or your mom, ever. Dwayne ain't going nowhere." Soon the people let Willie, his mom, and Dwayne go through another door, and they locked the first door they had come through. It scared Willie when they locked the door. Dwayne smiled down at Willie and held his hand. "Remember what I said. I'm here to protect you." Willie saw a man that he just knew was his father, sitting at a hard round table. Willie started to walk toward him smiling. "Hi, Dad." The man looked at him kind of funny, and Willie heard a voice from behind him. "Hey, boy, don't you even recognize your own daddy?" Willie turned around and saw a man behind him, smiling and holding out his arms for Willie to come to him. Willie felt happy and sad. He was glad to see his dad, but he really did not recognize him. It had been a long time since their last visit. He walked quickly into his father's arms as his dad held him close and hugged him warmly. Willie could feel his dad's love in the way he held on to him. It felt like his dad did not ever want to let him go. "Don't ever be like me, Willie. Please, don't be like me." When his dad let Willie go, he gave his mom a long hug and shook Dwayne's hand, and then they all sat down. He asked Willie what his favorite sport was, and Willie quickly told him that it was basketball. His dad asked him who he played with, and Willie answered, "Dwayne plays with me and teaches me all about how to play." Willie's dad had a strange smile on his face and was very quiet. He wiped away a tear as he looked across the table. Then he asked Dwayne a question. "Dwayne, did you have a father when you were growing up?" "No, I never really knew my father, man." "Well, look here. You know I only get to talk to you guys for half an hour, so I really got something I need to say. I don't have long to say it, and it's real hard to say. I ain't gonna get out of here for a long time," he said, his voice trembling and his eyes red and watery. "Willie, I wish that I could be there to teach you how to play basketball, but you will be a grown man before I get home. I can't do anything to help your mother raise you up, but I watched the way Dwayne looked at you and looked out for you when all of you were being searched, and I see the way he looks at your mother. Dwayne, if you want to marry Tina and be Willie's dad, I won't be mad at you. I want Willie to have a father, like we never had. It ain't gonna be me." And Willie's dad could not speak anymore. He looked like the saddest man on earth. He sobbed and stood up and walked away, wiping his eyes and looking sad even from behind. It was like he was twice as old now than when they had come into the room. He could barely walk. The men in the clothes that were different from Willie's dad helped him through a door and shut and locked it. The men seemed to respect his father because they were talking quietly and not yelling at him like they had at some of the other men, and they seemed to almost try to make him feel better. Now they were alone in the room. It was time to go. The ride back was longer than the ride there, and everyone was quiet. Willie spoke up once during the quiet ride back home. "I don't want to be like my dad, Dwayne. I want to be like you." "Willie, I want you to always respect your dad. What he just did was one of the hardest things a man could ever do. His love for you let him find the strength to do it. He made some big mistakes, but he has a lot of good in him. You should try to find the good things in him, and it will be okay to be like the good things. I respect him a lot." A few months later, Tina and Dwayne got married. Willie was the ring bearer and gave his mother away because she did not know her father. They wrote Willie's dad and told him about the wedding. He wrote back and asked for pictures. "Can I please have a picture of your wedding?" They sent him the best picture they had.